Hey guys, Tiaza here with freeballedanceclasses.com. So doing a quick coffee talk today to answer a question from somebody who was wondering what the idea of sisterhood in belly dancing means to Arab belly dancers, and asking, growing up in Morocco, if the idea of sisterhood amongst belly dancers is the same as in the United States. It's a very tricky question. It's a very interesting question, and the answer to it is almost impossible because, first of all, there are no belly dancers like socially, like people that just take belly dance classes and do like fun parties and stuff like that. There is no such a thing in Morocco. So you either have people, everybody basically, all women that just belly dance, all the time. Anytime there is a social event or a party or whatever, they're belly dancing. So, belly dancing is a dance, so it's what you do in every social celebration. But then you have the professional belly dancers, who are looked down on as almost like if they're sluts and whores and strippers. So it's two completely different worlds, right? Now, women normally, when they belly dance in social events, they do it amongst other women. So they're never performing in front of other men unless, those men are usually very close members of the family, like brothers and, cousins or whatever. And even cousins is not quite advised. It really depends on the family you belong to. But a lot of Arab families don't allow women to belly dance in front of, or dance in general in front of men. And then you have some other more liberal families that will let you dance in front of the closest members of the family. And then you have other much more liberal families that will let you basically dance in front of anybody. But then you have the belly dance world, the performance world, which is completely different. Now, amongst the belly dancers and performers in the Arab world, there is a certain idea of sisterhood. They don't refer to it as sisterhood, but there is a support group, and they're very, very protective of each other. And even in the West, we hear stories all the time of belly dancers being jailed for violating this or that law. There's so many regulations to how you're supposed to perform as an Arab belly dancer, or as a belly dancer in general in an Arab country, because there's a lot of Russian belly dancers as well that perform in a lot of countries, like a lot of Arab countries like Egypt. So those belly dancers have to obey certain rules, like there's certain things you can do and certain things you can't. Amongst those belly dancers, there's an idea of sisterhood, if you want to call it that. Like I said, they don't refer to it that way, but basically they have to support each other because they really are against those rules and they don't want to be regular in how they dance. And once in a while there's always somebody who's going to get in some sort of trouble because a certain move was considered a bit too sexual or whatever. And there is punishment by fine or jail, whatever, depends on the country. And so there is a certain support group for that. But it's very different, of course. If you just, if you think about it, it's very different than the idea of sisterhood amongst belly dancers in the West, which is like a bunch of belly dance girls hang out, dance together, go take class together, go take some workshops together, go to haflas and things like that. It's totally fun here because you could do a lot of the stuff that you want and you're much more free than those women in those countries. So, is the idea of sisterhood the same? No. Does it even exist? I don't think so. Not in that sense that we think of here, but it does exist in, like I said, in a support group idea where, we know the law is against us and we're going to defend you, we're going to protect you, we're going to support you, we're going to back you up if you really need that backup. So there is that. Amongst women in general that are not performers or, belly dancers per se, women have a tremendous idea of sisterhood amongst themselves in the Arab world, and simply because they do everything together. Every time you do anything in the Arab world as far as celebrating and having fun and dancing, women are always separated from men. There's always a men's group and a women's group, and so women do all the fun stuff, together as women. And so there's definitely that idea of sisterhood of we have more fun, we dance better, we have better moves, we are strong, there's a lot of that talk and making fun of men because of course they're in the other room during the same celebration. So there is that idea of support, but it's much more like, I don't know, it's done in a very joking manner when those women hang out together and chat and talk and have fun. So it's a bit different but it's not in a sense of let's protect ourselves and let's fight the law like it is amongst the belly dance, professional belly dance performers. But it's more like, oh, we make fun of the social stuff, but we're not here to change it. We're just here to make fun of it and have a great time and dance. So it's a bit different there. So, I mean, that's kind of an idea of what I think of as sisterhood, but like I said, it's really not talked about that way. The word sisterhood is not even used. And it's very, very, very different, of course, because it's a completely different country, different environment, different laws, different freedoms, different everything. And you adjust to that and you create some sort of love and support group amongst any group in general, in any part of the world where people feel like, they're not up to the standards, or they're inferior, or they're whatever, and they have to prove themselves constantly. So you either make fun of the situation or you fight hard to change it. And both exist in the Arab world amongst belly dancers. Just kind of depends on what side of the coin they're on. So that's my 2 cents on that. Hopefully that answers your question. And if you guys have had any experience with that in the past, if you kind of have a certain reflection on what your idea of sisterhood is and what you have observed other dancers or women in the Arab world have as far as their idea of sisterhood, post a comment. Let's start a conversation below. So I'll see you guys next time in another coffee talk. Thank you for your question, and check out the website. It is freebydanceclasses.com, and definitely make sure you subscribe to this channel. See you next time. Bye.